Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to another video at Happy RC Flyer. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Most of my viewers are not subscribed, so that helps grow the channel, and we desire to grow the hobby. This is an unsponsored, unbiased channel, so if you like that kind of content, family-friendly, enjoyable content, we're just here to have fun, we're just here to promote the hobby, and this channel is just for recreational purposes only. We're not monetized. We don't get any sponsors from any companies. We don't desire to. We're just here to have an unbiased perspective and share in the fun of RC. So if you enjoy that kind of stuff, don't forget to subscribe. Most of my viewers are not subscribed. That'll help grow the channel. Today is Tools and Tips Tuesday, something we're going to start here and see if we can't put out a video once a week on Tuesdays for Tools and Tips Tuesdays, just to share little tricks and little tools to make the hobby more enjoyable and a little easier. Today we're out at the airfield. We're just sitting back here. As the sign says, no spectators beyond this point. So we're just spectating today, so we're just going to stay on this side of the fence. Anyway, today we have a cool little tool. This is by Pick Quick, and this is the Teeny Turner. I don't know if you can see the label there, but it's called a Teeny Turner. And this is just a little compact screwdriver. So I have grown to love this thing. And I picked one of these up. I'm probably going to order some more of these just to have in some different boxes. But this is something that's pretty nifty. It takes the place of like 7 different screwdrivers. So as you can see here, there are these different tips. And these are a little bit smaller than the typical, I believe, 1/4 inch drill bit tips. So these are a tiny bit smaller for compact purposes. And you'll find that if you want more tips, these 7 tips come with it. So there's 6 that fit in the back here, like almost like a revolver chamber, which is kind of cool looking. And then of course one you keep in the front. It is magnetic, and which is kind of cool. And then these tips can be magnetic. I think they'll pick up other tips as well. So it's really important to have a magnetic tip screwdriver when you're working on airplanes or boats or quadcopters, whatever it might be, helicopters. So that's kind of a nifty feature. But yeah, it's called the Teeny Turner. I thought I might make you guys aware of it. I'm sure a lot of people have seen it already, have heard of it. Maybe you just needed reminded about it. But Teeny Turner is definitely a cool little tool. It's very compact, as you can see in my hand. It's super tiny, so it fits in about any toolbox. And with these Tools and Tips Tuesday, we'll kind of feature different tools and different tricks in the hobby that I found that make it more enjoyable, make it a little bit easier, and hopefully you'll find helpful. Again, this is unsponsored content, so no one's paying me to try to sell you on something or try to convince you to buy something. So the purpose of these is not to convince you to buy anything if you don't need it, but just to show you what I find that makes life a little bit easier in the hobby, more enjoyable, and helps stay a little more organized in repairs and builds. So anyway, something I thought I would share. So yeah, the tips are a little bit smaller. If you want more assortment of tips, you can find that they're the same attachment as many others. I'll maybe put a link in the description. But you can purchase this from Amazon. I believe it's on sale right now, maybe for like $9 or $10. So I'll put a link in the video description. Don't forget to check that out if you're interested in purchasing one. Again, I don't get any kickbacks if you use the links in the descriptions. I just share it for the fun of RC. So I have a different job where I make money and work with my hands, so I make just as much money whether you buy one of these or not. So don't feel pressured to buy anything that you see on my channel. It's just for fun and just to share in the enjoyment that I have. So the tips and the attachments that come with it are these little hex Allen sizes, and there's 3 different sizes there. I believe they say on them 25 millimeter, 2 millimeter. I think that was probably 2.5, not 25 millimeter. That makes sense. There's a decimal in there that's really hard to see. I don't know if you can see that, but 2.5 millimeter, 2 millimeter, 1.5 millimeter. There's a flathead, or we call a regular screwdriver. I don't think it has a size. Oh, it's called a number 3. And then a number 2 size flathead, which is kind of cool. There's a PO Phillips head, or X head as some people will call it. So PO, so it's a little bit larger, still small for a Phillips head. And then a POO, which is the really tiny Phillips head. So I don't know if you can see that, but this is really tiny. And I found it's almost too sharp for some of the screws in the hobby. So I like to use it for wing screws. Now, the disadvantage in this is if you're needing to work on something that requires a long shaft to get down in between something and unscrew a screw or screw something in where you're not going to be bumping into other stuff, this is not the tool for you. But this is has a separate purpose. Just something that fits in the palm of your hand, something you can slip in your pocket if you don't want to take a bunch of gear and a bunch of repair tools to the airfield or wherever you're going to be tinkering around. This is something that just doesn't take up much room, but has an assortment of 7 different tips. So again, all these fit in the back or in the handle of it, in what I would call the revolving chamber. It doesn't really revolve unless you turn it, I guess. So, and you could change these out to whatever size tips that you end up using. Maybe you use more star bits, maybe you use square heads. You can change that out to whatever you'd like. So I don't know what the measurement is of this bit shank that fits in here in the screwdriver, but it is very common for workbench tools and more like micro tips to fit in there. So some of my other tips do fit in. Now these are just what I put in here, what I find works good for me. This hex Allen screw, I think it's the 2.5 or maybe it's the 2.0, I forget which one it is, but these sizes I find are fairly common, I think, in the free wing screws. And then of course once in a while you use a flathead, and I use a lot of Phillips head quite a bit. So I believe it's pronounced Pickwick, but it's called the Teeny Turner. Again, I'll put a link in the description, the video description. So if you desire to purchase one, you can. I believe that they're on sale for like $9 or $10. This is just in comparison. I think I picked these up at Harbor Freight. This is a PH2 1.5, and then there's a 1/4 by 1.5. There's a flathead and Phillips. So I also keep these in my box. They're a little more meaty to grab a hold of. These are rubberized grips. I think I picked these up at Harbor Freight in like a whole set. So Harbor Freight has some cool assortments of tools that are fairly inexpensive, but I feel like they're decent quality for what they are. You gotta watch with tools. I feel like there's some companies that try to take advantage and portray an image that if you're going to do good work, you have to spend a lot of money on your tools, and you'll find like a little screwdriver set can cost as much as $60 to $80. But check Harbor Freight. I found some good tools. That's where I got these, but I just brought these along to show a comparison how much smaller this Teeny Turner is in size, in length, and of course in diameter. And of course each of these screwdrivers just has 1 tip on the end, Phillips or regular flathead, and the Teeny Turner carries 6 in the chamber plus 1. So some of you guys will know what I mean by the 6 plus 1. But anyway, it's pretty cool. And then the easiest way to get these out, instead of pushing the next tip out, you look around here and you say, oh, I want the larger Allen wrench size. So instead of trying to push that out and then put it in the front, you take this tip attachment out, you pull that out first, and you select which one, and you just push it through from the back to the front. And as you push the previous used attachment into the chamber, it ejects this one, and then you just slip it in and you're ready to go. So you can pull it out, push it in the back, and it'll feed in and feed the next one out. So very cool. Teeny Turner, check it out in the description. Hope you guys enjoy these videos. Again, you probably have already heard about this. You might even have 1 or 2 in your toolbox. Maybe you need some more, or maybe not. Maybe you're not interested, but thought I would remind you guys about the Teeny Turner. A cool little screwdriver, a 7-tip compact screwdriver, very useful for its size. And there it is. So thanks for watching the first edition of the Tools and Tips Tuesday, and hope to see you on the next video. Don't forget to subscribe, like the video if you liked it, share it with a friend you think might enjoy it, drop a comment or a question, and enjoy the hobby. Thanks for watching.